What's up, YouTube? Brian VANDUYN here with VANDUYN Dump Trucking. I wanted to do this video and give a shout out to Drew, Solo Outbound. Alright guys, how to get out of it. What's up, Sydney? I'm doing this video because I want to shout out the YouTube channel Skid Steer Drew. I want you guys to go check out his channel. It's Skid Steer Drew. Where's the business finance update? Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that, but I gotta wait until the end of December. I got some crazy news, guys. We got a goal. I want to see if we can hit this goal that I got. I just got a wild hair, and we got a goal for the financial side of the business. I got a goal. I want to hit this thing. So we'll see if we hit it or not. We're real close. I'm just gonna say it. We are literally this close to having gross revenue almost $300,000 this year. So our goal is to see if we can hit that mark this year. If we hit it, definitely doing an update. If not, I'm still gonna do an update. But we are literally this close. So I want to see if we can hit that goal or not. We may not hit it. It's going to be a little bit of a stretch now that we're coming into winter. But, you know, we'll get one of those videos up probably mid-January or so. Anyways, I wanted to do this live stream and give a shout out to Drew. So he's been doing part-time. He's been doing his business part-time. He's got a small dump truck. It's just a single axle. He's got a skid steer. He's got a mini excavator and a tractor, I believe. So the excitement that he's going through right now is just it's awesome, you know. And I remember when I first started my business, I'm saying this like as if it was a long time ago. It was only like 3 years ago, which 3 years is a long time, you know, but it ain't that long, you know. But I still remember like it was yesterday when I started my business. The excitement that you get when you decide to just go for it, it's awesome, you know. And so I'm super excited for him. You know, I'm gonna wish him the best. I want him to succeed, you know. My advice is just go for it, man. Just get to it, you know. Don't give up. And, you know, go for it, man. That's the only way I can say it. Just go for it, man. Just hit it as hard as you can, you know. Starting a business is one of the craziest things you will ever do in your life. You know, when you finally decide to give up the chains of working for somebody else and grab a hold of the bull's horns, you know, and just take it for a ride, you know. I still go back and watch my video of when I got fired. I still do it all the time. I still go back and watch that video, you know. My mentality was, I am gonna die trying. If I don't make it, I will die before I don't make it. That's how hard I'm gonna try. That's how hard I'm gonna go for it. I will not give up. I will die before I give up. That was my mentality when I started. And if you guys cannot fail, I mean, you just can't. You know? I mean, you just can't fail. If that's your mentality and you have the actions to back up that mentality, you cannot fail. I mean, even if you're selling vacuum cleaners, for crying out loud. I mean, look at Kirby. I mean, that guy sells $1,000 vacuum cleaners. I mean, who would have thought, you know, somebody could just walk door to door and say, hey man, I want to sell you this $5,000 vacuum cleaner. You know? It's like, if you want your business, the work ethic to go for it, if you got that, you'll make it happen. Guaranteed. Anybody who started a business knows, you know, and you've been in the game for a while, you look back and say, man, I had that passion so big, so strong, you know, I would have rather have died than failed, you know. So, I don't know if we're going to buy Super Dump next year or not. We might not. I don't know if we're going to buy a skid steer next year. We may not. I was talking to the wife about buying a skid steer, and she says, well, if you really have to buy a skid steer, you gotta finish the septic system for the house, and you gotta have a well. You gotta have the well done. Right? So she kind of put those two limitations on me buying a skid steer. Right? So there's that. When you're running your own business, you kind of want to have an iron. I was looking back at one of the videos I did, how to start a dump truck business video, and one of the commenters, Brandon M, he said, you got to have a fire, or an iron in every fire, right? You got to have an iron in every fire, which means don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So, I really diversified my business when I first started. I really diversified, like, boom, bought a dump truck, bought an excavator, bought a dozer. Like, I mean, they're all in the same industry, but they're not in the same industry, if you know what I mean. They're all under the big umbrella of construction, but you got trucking, and then you got excavation, which are two different things, you know. You can't have one without the other, you know. Excavation is amazing, but you can't do excavation without trucking, you know. It's, excavation guys hate it, you know. They call us the necessary evil, you know, because you gotta be able to move stuff. What's up, Ryan? 0%, 0 down for 60 months. Woo! Yeah, but I don't really want to finance. I don't really want to finance. I mean, I got enough stuff now, and we're making good enough money that I don't really need anything unless I can pay for it with cash. I mean, at least that's how I feel right now. We still got to pay off that Super Dump, you know, which it's got another 4 years on the loan. So we're probably gonna pay that off early, you know, when it's the same as cash, make the payment. Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes that's how they get you, you know. I'm so excited for Drew, you know. I'll take one if you're buying. Cash is king. I'm not taking any debt in the economic uncertainty. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, uncertainty right now. I mean, at least that's the way most people feel. I honestly don't feel that way personally. I feel like everything is, gonna keep on keeping on. That's the way I personally feel, like no matter what, we all gotta get up and make hay, especially when the sun's out. We all gotta make money. The world isn't getting any smaller. People are still having babies, so we gotta keep building stuff. I do feel like, possibly stuff has started to slow down, which stuff has started to slow down. It's winter time, it's that time of the year when people kind of, stay inside and, save their money because it's not summertime. Another guy I'm super excited for is Chad. You'll see him on the channel every now and then, Aqua Freedom. He finally made the decision to go out on his own. He was one of the main operators at one of the excavation companies that I haul for on a regular. And he had been working for them for like 20-something years, like a long time. And he finally said, you know what? I can't handle the politics anymore. I just want to be on my own, me and my dog, He didn't go into dump trucking or excavating or anything like that. He just decided to do his own. He's gonna do the hot shot thing, right? So more power to him. I mean, everybody's got their own little niche that they want to do. Hot shotting, you can definitely make money in hot shotting. You just gotta, know what you're doing. Same with any business. Okay, I'm part-time. I can't wait to go full-time. It's been so hard this season not to quit my full-time job. I've accumulated second year. Alright, let's see these comments. I've accumulated a F650 track skid mini X cat 3953. Spring's going to be glorious. Yes, it will, man. Before I started my dump truck business, I tried starting a business before this one, but I only did it part-time. Like, I got a business license, and my business was mobile welding. That was my business that I wanted to start, because I did a lot of artwork and I loved welding. And then, so I started posting ads on Craigslist, mobile welding. I just started posting. And then I started doing that part-time when I was hauling fuel. I would do it on the weekends. Like I'd schedule everything for the weekends. And then there was one day where I had like 2 days straight, like just non-stop, and I made like $700. And I was like, man, running your own business you can really make some money doing it. But then I realized, like, I like welding, but I cannot do welding all day, every day. That's not something I can do. I love it. Not for me, though. Too much smoke. You're staring at a light all day long. You're looking through a mask, looking through a box, a small window, all day long. I couldn't do it. And I'm like, you know what? I just couldn't make enough money to be like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm just going to go for it, And so I never really went for it because I was just doing it part-time. I couldn't see myself making enough to support my family doing it. And that's mainly because I didn't have my heart in it. You know, my heart was not in it. I didn't have the passion for it that I thought I had, you know. But I knew I was going to be running my own business eventually. Like, I knew it. I'm like, man, I can't handle the politics. Every company I worked for about a year and a half, and then I quit. I never got fired from a job, except for one time, and that was a long time ago. My first job, I got fired from it. But that was because of the politics bull crap, you know? And then every other job, I never got fired. I just quit because I couldn't handle the stupidness that would go on, you know? Like, management was terrible, or, you know, or your coworkers would try to boss you around, or, you know, they think they're better than you, you know? They don't appreciate your ideas or your strategy, you know? Give them a horn honk, so to let them know I'm here, get loaded. And there's so much negativity also. Like, when you're working for other people, it was a very common theme. Almost every company I worked for, everybody hated their job. Everybody hated it. They're like, oh, yeah, we're living the dream. You know, that's, everybody always said that, but we all knew they were full of crap. You know what I mean? It's just something they said, you know? And I stopped saying it. I'm like, man, this ain't living the dream. This sucks. This sucks balls, you know? Everybody's always negative. Everybody's always talking crap behind your back. And then another thing that I couldn't stand was nobody wanted to work hard. Like, I had like three or four co-workers that I can actually look back and say, that guy worked his tail off, or that guy, I would like to work with that guy. I want him on my team. There's only like three or four of those guys that I could actually honestly say I wanted to be, you know, on there. I wanted them to work with me. And I swear, I always got stuck with the lazy bastard, you know? For example, let me just throw this out there. Okay, you guys can see right there. See that boom truck right there? See the roof? They loaded it up with bundles. Those guys have been here for almost an hour and a half, 2 hours. That roof should have taken them 45 minutes to load. That's what it would have taken me to load it. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or nothing. It's just some people just drag their feet all day, you know? And I was not the type of employee that dragged my feet. Everybody hated me because I actually wanted to get stuff done. And I wanted to, you know, get the work done and go home, make the paycheck, you know? And I hated working with people because nobody shared the enthusiasm that I had with getting the work done, getting it done fast, making money, and going home, you know? And so I knew I had to start my own business, you know? Let me catch up on some of these comments while I'm stopped here. Grade A Land, his channel name is Skid Steer Drew. I put it in the title. Also, we got Aqua Freedom. I didn't put his in the title because he hasn't made any videos or nothing yet, but when he does start making videos, I'm going to shout him out because I think he's a cool dude. Were you that fired up every day, all the time, or did it come and go? And how did you get fired up on the days you didn't wake up fired up? That's a great question, Adam. I would say when I started my business, I was fired up every single day. Probably every day. when I first started. But before I started my business, like when I was still getting the truck ready, I would say it was at 80%. 80% of the time I was like, man, I'm ready to start this business. I want to start making some money. I'm tired of working on this truck, you know? And then the other 20% I was like, man, do I really got to go out there in the rain and fix that stupid airline? Do I really gotta go out there in the snow? I gotta respond to this text message. Don't go anywhere. I'm just gonna respond to a quick little text message, and then it's just gonna bleep off for a second. Then I'll be right back. Just gotta respond to this. Sorry about that little interruption there. The foreman was asking me if I had any buddies who wanted to work tomorrow because they want another truck on this job. So I'm gonna get him another truck tomorrow probably. So yeah, before I started, there were days where I'm like, man, I really don't want to work on the truck today, you know, to get it ready. Like, this stupid truck has done nothing but cost me money. I haven't made a dime yet. You know, there were definitely days where I was depressed. I mean, you go back and watch that video when I did the cold start fail. Like, when the dump truck didn't even start in the morning. The batteries were dead. I didn't really have enough money to buy 4 batteries at the time because I was still working for somebody full time. So there were definitely days where I was depressed and I was like, man, this sucks, you know. But my grandpa was always there. He always was like, if you ever need a hand, I'll help you. You know, if you ever, you know, when it's too much for you to handle on your own, I'll be there, you know. And then there was days my wife was like, if you don't go work on that truck, you ain't getting none. I was like, we're working on the truck today, guys. You know, it was like, it's got to happen, you know. And then once I got out there, and started working on it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I gotta be out here doing this. You know why? Because that's what it's like being an owner. Every single day, you can't depend on anybody but yourself. You know, you can't expect anybody to do this but you. You gotta be the one to do it. Because if you're not the one to do it, who's gonna do it? And if you're gonna have somebody else do it, what are they gonna charge you to do it? You know, because they will charge you. It ain't free, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, there were definitely days when I was getting ready to start my business. I was like, man, this sucks, you know. And I will say, you know, now I'm 3 years in it. Do I still have that mindset of rock and roll? Yeah, I still got that mindset of rocking and rolling. Every now and then there are days where I'm like, man, I gotta wake up. Like, come on, get rolling, you know. The gear oil's a little bit thick, you know. It's tougher to get rolling some mornings. But guess what? You still gotta get it, man. And one of the ways that I personally motivate myself is I think about my kids' future. My kids' future. Brian and Rosemary. If I don't make that money, you know, if I don't make this business successful, then they're going to have to beg some other man for a job because their daddy wasn't man enough. That's what I think about. That ain't going to happen on my watch. That is not going to happen on my watch because I'm going to be the man, you know. So, you know, that's my motivation right there. That gets me fired up no matter what right there. Thinking about the future for my kids, you know. You know, and the other thing is you may not have kids. Your wife, if seems like everybody's got somebody they care about. I mean, if you literally have nobody, then I don't know, you got to care about yourself. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to eat, you know. That's another thing, you know, Dave Ramsey always says, you got to go out and kill it and drag it back to the cave, because it ain't coming back willingly. Nothing walks back to your cave willingly. You got to kill it and drag it back, you know. I seen a meme the other day on Facebook, and it was basically a picture of a vegan. No offense to vegans or nothing, or vegetarians, but it was like vegan. I want to be kind to nature, right? And then it was a picture of real nature. It was a picture of two hyenas with blood all over their face, because they just killed it and brought it home. You know, they just killed it and they brought it home for the family. You know, nature is not pretty. Nature is not kind. It's ruthless. And that's the same way you gotta be in business. You gotta be ruthless. I mean, because the second you start to be kind to nature, it whips your butt. It will whip you a new one. Do you have a mentor in the dump truck business before you started? Yeah, I had lots of people I looked up to. I used to watch JSC's channel. I probably watched his video on how to start a dump truck business. I probably watched that 15 times probably. And I just remember him saying, you know, you're gonna get chicken crap and you gotta turn it into diamonds, you know, and you just gotta work and just keep your mouth shut, you know. There's lots of people that I looked up to before I started my business, you know. I didn't know any owner-operators, except for I knew one owner-operator, and the only reason I knew him was because I bought his old rims off of his dump truck. He bought new aluminum rims, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm buying these for my dump truck. He's like, what? No way. Like, I just started my business. I'm like, dude, that's so cool, you know. I'm going to be starting in a few months. Maybe you can help me get some work. And he's like, yeah, man, just give me a call when you get your truck rolling. I'll help you out. I'll never forget Corey. Big money. That guy, he helped me start my business. You know, he may not know the level of help that he gave me by helping me start my business, but, you know, that first customer, he turned down some work so I could eat. You know what I mean? His truck was broke or something, and he gave that work to me. And that's what started my business. You know, that first month. Without that first month of full straight work nonstop, man, I don't know I don't know how my business would have got off the ground. You know? So yeah, I definitely had a mentor or two, you know. It's hard to find a person with good work ethic. Looks like we're working tomorrow and Monday. Sweet. If you pay a person by the job and not the hour, they will hustle. That's true. It's true. There are a few people who will hustle by the hour just because they don't want to be at work. They want to get the work done and go home. But most people drag their feet, you know. As a business owner, you can't be dragging your feet, man. You just can't afford to drag your feet. There's too much stuff that needs to be done. You gotta change that light bulb, change the oil, you gotta put that sign up, you gotta get those business cards made, you gotta, you know, there's just so many things that you got to do as a business owner. The list never ends. So you can't be lazy. You got to be a self-motivated go-getter. Mindset is key. Amen to that. So I'm just super fired up for Chad and for Drew. They're both starting their businesses. I mean, the real freedom I've experienced was when I started my own business. You know, that's the real freedom. Like, when you get up every day to go to work for somebody else, that is not freedom. That is not freedom. At least not in my opinion. I mean, I never felt free. Get up every day, go work for somebody else. They're making 4 times the amount you are. I mean, yeah, you can work for somebody if you want, you know. I mean, if you don't really have any ambition in life and you just want to pay your bills and, you know, have a few things in life, it's fine to work for somebody else, but you're never going to own a working for somebody else. You're never going to working for somebody else. You know, you ain't going to own that side by side by writing a check if you're working for somebody else. Yeah, working for somebody else is like jail. Exactly. I mean, that's how I felt. I remember every single day, I'm like, man, I gotta go drive that, I gotta go sit in that cab for 12 hours. I feel like I'm in jail, you know, like I'm forced to sit in this cab for 12 hours for 150 bucks. 150 bucks. 300 bucks was the most I ever made in a day when I was working for somebody else. Like 300 bucks. I gotta sit in this cab with a bomb behind me for 300 bucks. That's it. And then I got a glimpse of what the owners were making when I worked at Big Rigs. I seen one of their tickets. They were making $10,000 a load. 10 grand hauling a load of Jet A from Vancouver to Klamath Falls, Oregon. $10,000, and I was hauling 3 of those in a week. That's $30,000 just me. Every single week. Now, duh, of course they have expenditures, but I calculated that out of my head, and I'm thinking, wait a second here. This ain't fair. This ain't right. Like, how are they making so much money and I'm making so little? And then I finally realized, well, no wonder they're making all the money. They went out and found the work. They got the truck to do the work. They went out and found somebody to do it for them. You know, they went out and worked on the truck. They kept the truck up. They made the truck look nice. You know, they did all that stuff. That's why they're making $10,000 a load, and I'm only making $300 a load. And then I'm like, you know what? I'll start my own business. I'm tired of making peanuts. You know? Now I'm making 270 bucks an hour. You know? I went from making $20.50 an hour to 270 bucks an hour in 3 years. That's just nuts. It's amazing. That right there is liberating. It's liberating. You know? And I'm not bragging about it. I'm just telling you guys, this is, you know, that is the benefit of being self-employed. You know, you become your own master, man. The limitation on what amount of money you make is the atmosphere above you. It's the sky, you know. You can make as much money as you want to. You just got to work hard enough for it, you know. You just got to make those little money building machines, and then next thing you know, you turn around and then you're making millions, you know. How big do you want to grow? It's all up to you. Nobody's going to boss you around in America. You got to do it yourself. You know, you got to figure it out on your own. What's up, Doc? You didn't really miss nothing. Just giving Skid Steer Drew a shout out on YouTube. He's got over 1,000 subscribers. I want you guys to go check out his channel. And obviously, you know, say, hey, we came from the Dump Truckers channel. You know, if you do go check it out, you know, tell them where you came from. Let them know. Let them know. Drew has been watching my channel since the beginning of the business. He literally has. I remember seeing comments when I first started. He's watched the whole thing. He's finally getting sliced of the pie for himself. Sydney, everybody asks me that question. How many trucks do you want to have, Brian? I don't know, man. As many as I can have, you know. I love dump trucking. I love it. I love the money it makes. You know? So, it just depends on what my wife wants to let me have. You know, she's the one that puts a limit on me. My wife says, I don't want any more trucks. They're causing me too much headache. I don't get to see my husband enough, or, you know, this or that, or, you know, she's the one that really decides. Yeah, Ryobi's trash. Thank you, Chaka, for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you to all the members that are joining the Facebook group. It's only 99 cents a month, basically nothing. I'm going to start doing all my videos where the members see them first, probably. Just because, you know, that's just one of the ways I can say thank you for helping, you know, support the channel, support the content. We got a lot of viewers, a lot of unsubscribed viewers. I don't get that either. Like, we got 82% of you guys aren't even subscribed to the channel. Like, I mean, why not? It's free, you know? So, but whatever. You know, you don't even have to click the notification bell, just subscribe, you know? So, inbound, pit 1, solo. That was a light load. I forgot to put my drop axle down. That's good. I probably didn't even need it. I've been hauling light all day today. They're loading me with the front end loader, but it's kind of fluffy dirt, and so it's really lightweight. I could see us having 5 to 6 dump trucks, maybe 10. I can also envision us having 200 dump trucks. I mean, like, I really don't know. Like, you know, when do I want to stop growing the business and start growing my toy box, you know? Which one do I want, toys, or do I want more money? You know, it just, you got to kind of balance them, you know? When I was at Cabela's the other day, or Bass Pro Shop, whichever one you want to call them, they're basically the same thing. I seen the pontoon boats, and I'm like, man, I want a pontoon boat. That's like 40 grand right there. If you would have asked me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if I would have ever owned one of those, I would have been like, hell no, those are way too expensive. If you would have asked me if I would have ever owned a side-by-side, I would be like, nope, I can't afford that. That's the poor man's response. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. You gotta learn how to say, I will have that. This is how I'm gonna make it happen. You know? So, you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I like those guys, Super Dumps. I was talking to them about their box. It's made by Williamson and Godson or something like that in Utah. And apparently they don't like them. They said they're cheap. The welds are already cracking and stuff on them, on their Super Dumps. VANDUYN dump truck coming on the scale with the repeat. Anyways, guys, go check out Drew's channel. Big shout out to him and Chad for starting your own business. I gotta go sign this paperwork. I'll be back in 2 seconds after I sign this. You might be right, Sydney. Alright, guys. 17 people looking at the back of my chair. Sorry about that. Had to go get my paperwork. What you missed, John? You didn't really miss that much. I'm just giving a shout out to Skid Steer Drew and Chad Potts. They're both two guys that I know personally. Well, actually, I've never met Drew personally. I've talked to him a few times. Chad I do know personally. But they're both starting their own business, which is really cool. You know? And every time I meet somebody who's starting their own business, like, it reminds me of when I started. This is a steep hill. I always put the locker on when I go up this bad boy, especially when it's a little damp. Alright. Let's get this load off. Whew. You know, one of the things that holds people back all the time at starting their own business is there's this perception that you have to start your business with new stuff. Like, you can't start your business with stuff that is old and beat up. There's that perception, you know? Like, I can't start my business with this old dump truck. It's so funny, you know? Especially when you talk to the guys that have all the cool stuff and, you know, the rich people and stuff. But I was like, oh, you can't start your business out with that. You can't do that. You know, everybody will tell you you can't do it. There's so many people that say, oh, you can't do that. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. And then next time they see you when you're making, you know, 300,000, they'll be like, damn, you made it, man. You're killing it. You're killing it. They want to be your friend, you know. You'll remember, though. You'll remember those people. Don't be too hard on them. Somebody was a dream killer to them, too, you know. You can start your business with old, beat up stuff. You know, that's what I did. I started my business with this dumb truck right here. 1985 AP92 silver 2-stroke diesel. This thing's like 36 years old, I think, right? 36? Welcome to love it. Wait, what can I say? Yeah, Adam. Thank you, man, for the membership. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. I'm loving it, but I'm too broke. That's awesome, brother. It's only $1 a month. I mean, it ain't. I'm not asking you for the world, you know. If you enjoy the content, it helps me buy video equipment, you know, like the drone I bought for the channel. It helps me keep up on the GoPros, because, you know, every year they come out with a new one, and by the time they come out with a new one, the old one's already beat up and scratched up, and the lenses are cracked and scratched and hard to see the video, and, you know, so every little bit helps. Like, you know, that's one of the other things as a business owner. Every penny you save is a penny you can spend later. You know, every dollar saved is a dollar earned, you know. Yeah, I mean, this Detroit, you know, there might be one other Detroit. I think I've seen a Detroit in Shelton, and this is out in the middle of nowhere. Shelton's kind of in the middle of nowhere. You know, it's getting out there. I seen another Detroit, but it wasn't as nice looking as this one. I'll be honest, not quite as nice looking as this one. But I mean, how many trucks from the 80s do you still see out there on the road? You don't. You know why? Because people don't run those trucks anymore. Number one reason is they either already bought new stuff, you know, or people are too afraid to start a business with something that's old. They want to have the trucks like Preacher. Look at that truck. Man, that truck is gorgeous. That is the epitome of the super trucker truck right there. Chromed out, chicken lights everywhere, drop visor, 8-inch stacks. I mean, I could go on for days. All the accessories that thing has. Lug nut covers, bolt covers, switch covers, LED dash lights, chromed everything. That's what everybody wants to start their business with. You don't get to start with that. You don't get to start with that. You get to start with something like this. And if you're good and you're persistent and you work hard, then you can have the nice stuff if you want it. If you want it. If you don't want it, more power to you. You don't need to have it. Me personally, I like driving the 80 and the 85 and roll a coal on everybody, because I get to see their faces. And it reminds me, every time I see one of those new trucks, my truck's making the same amount of money theirs is. No different. My truck's making the same amount. I got no payment on it. And that's where the real money's made, in the no payments. Kinda like, don't live beyond your means. Amen, Chaka. Amen. So was it stripped and halfway buried in the dirt? Yeah. This truck, with its condition, it should have been halfway buried in the dirt when I bought it. I mean, I still don't know how this truck was even, you know, I don't even know why the guy painted the cab. That's how bad a condition it was in. Like, there's a nice bull hauler truck, all chicken lighted out. He got it from an auction for $2,000 and then sold it to me for $8,000. That guy made a killing. And yeah, man, I'll tell you what. And you don't have to have a factory dump truck either. I mean, you can have a conversion, but just know when you buy a conversion, there's downsides to those conversions. You know, there's downsides, and guys will tell you about the conversion downsides. You know, they are cheaper. You know. Yeah, don't live beyond your means, man. That's a good saying right there, you know. Especially when you're starting a business. You know, don't go out and buy all the fancy stuff. That's one of the biggest mistakes guys make also. They start making all this money, and then what do? They go out and they buy a brand new diesel pickup. They go out and buy the newest, coolest toy on payments. They buy it on payments. And then the extra money that they were making from running their business, because you make more money when you run a business than when you work for somebody. That extra money you just started making, all that does is just disappear in payments. So, yeah. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Go check out Skid Steer Crew's channel. Tell him Brian VANDUYN sent you. Also, join the YouTube channel membership. We're going to try posting all the videos on that first. It helps out the channel. It's only like $1 a month, 99 cents a month. It's not really anything, really. Lets me know you care. You get a cool icon badge by your name. Lets me know if you support this channel or not. You also get member perks, you know, so you're not just paying $1 for nothing. You do get some perks, you know, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Share this on your social media site of preference, and don't forget to pound that like button and pound that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.